Well, hello. Welcome to the first episode of Walking into Retirement. My name is Dewey Bingham, and I'm creating this channel to share with you, my journey. Today is my last day. After over 40 years, working life in manufacturing, today's the last day. Certainly it's a couple months earlier than I had planned, but it's just time to move on to that next phase in life. So I'm going to back out of the garage here and head off, to work, finish my last day, and we'll talk afterwards. So thanks for coming along. Appreciate everybody. All right, so that's it. The last day of a 40-plus year career, and now, walk off or walk into retirement, I guess is why I call this channel what I call it. And I'm walking into the unknown, the next phase in life. So, see where the road takes us. That's the whole point of this channel. Share what we learn, what we know, and see where we go to. So, really don't know at this point. I know I'm taking some time off. Plan to maybe work part-time, work on my YouTube channels. Just try to relax and enjoy life. And again, I'll share any and all the things that, went into this decision for me as we move forward. And should be fun. I'm into my car, the adventure Jeep. So, put my bag up, hop in the Jeep, close the door, because it's still cold outside and we can at least talk for a minute. All right, so look at the building, kind of reflect a little bit. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for myself. I'm not really bothered about moving on to the next phase. I'm actually excited. All right, so why is that? What brought me to this point? Because I'm only 61. All right, soon to be, a little bit later. Obviously, I'll turn 62 in about 9 months. So why did I retire early? The reality that is, I never intended to retire early. I planned on working until I was 65, but I burned out. Just burned out. I recognized it. It was just time to, call it a career and try to move on to something else. And so that's kind of why we're here. Now today I got to ask a question, which I thought was really an interesting one. Looking back at all the years, what am I most proud of? What do I feel is my biggest accomplishment? And believe it or not, it didn't take me very long to answer that. Now, maybe, I don't know how others would answer that question. Certainly, please leave a comment down below for those of you who watch this video. I'd love to know what, when you look back on your, your working life, what would, what is that, thing you're most proud of? For me, wasn't hard to come up with an answer. It's something anytime I've been asked, it's never changed. I'm proud of the fact, that I've worked with a lot of people and I've helped them go on to accomplish things in life that they wanted to accomplish or never thought they could. And it's those things, the people themselves, seeing them succeed and do things, that took them to places they wanted to go or never thought they could go, that I'm most proud of. It had nothing to do with anything I've done. It's everything to do with what they've done. All right, and then that is beyond a shadow of a doubt, you know, something that I cherish every single day. All right, so I'm sure over the time, hopefully somebody, you know, who watches this is one of those people. And then again, I hopefully you find that comment, you know, important to you, because those things, seeing, you know, the people I worked with, the people that I, you know, cared about, seeing them move on to better things in life is by far the most important thing to me. So now, okay, ask another thing, which is the obvious. You know, what do you consider your biggest failure? All right, what you know, what was it? What is it? You know, for most people, when they look at this, you know, they look back on it and say, well, I worked too much. I wish I wouldn't work so much. Right? I did a lot of that. I worked way too many hours. I'm not going to kid anybody, you know, but that's not the answer to the question for me. You know, for me, it's always been about, again, the people. And you know, I just wish I would have been better, a better leader, a better manager, a better visionary. You know, I wish that I could have been better at what I did every day to help them and help the company be better. You know, just, you know, I don't regret all the time I put in. I mean, there's some elements of it that definitely hurt, but at the end of the day, that's not something I look back on and not something I regret. All right, what I do regret is I wish I were better. I wish I were smarter. I wish I, you know, saw things coming. I wish that, you know, I was just a better manager and a better leader in general. So anyway, tell me about yours. What do you know, throw a comment down below. And what do you regret from, you know, your work life? You know, maybe the answer is you just work too much. Wish you spent more time at home or than less time at the office. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. But for me, that's not what it is. All right, what else can we go over? I don't want to ramble. First video on this channel. We got plenty of things to go over, you know, as we move forward. You know, different things, because this is a journey that, you know, I don't know what the next steps are all going to look like. We're going to share that and share what I learned, share my opinions, you know, share my views, and I'm going to ask you to share yours. So hopefully you find this content entertaining or interesting, and hopefully you'll, you know, subscribe and, you know, join the journey and participate, you know, in the channel. You know, if you're interested, I have another channel which is called Dewey's Photography Adventures. That's really how I started YouTube. You know, that's something I like to do in my spare time. You know, so if you're interested, check out that channel. All right, so that's enough. All right, I'm gonna end this and go home and see my wife. So thanks for coming along, everybody. Till the next video, stay safe.